Welcome back to talknorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at mshsl-org@gmail.com. talknorth.com is powered by Bite Squad. Go to bitesquad.com or download their app. Get food to your door in minutes. Use the promo code TALKNORTH to get your first delivery free. Talk North gets you your first delivery free. Welcome to this week's edition of Preps Today with John Millea. This is our high school sports show on talknorth.com. Check out all the shows at talknorth.com. If you'd like to advertise with this program, reach an audience spread around the state, or any of the other programs, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. Thanks to our producer, Brandon Morton. Please download before you listen. Spartans for life, John.
Yeah, Jim, this was something very unexpected that I saw Saturday afternoon. There were football playoff games Friday night in 6A, the other classes Saturday. And this was the section semifinal round. And in most sections, you need to win 3 games to go to the state football playoffs. So I started off with a list of 8 or 10 games and then kind of whittled it down and wanted to go to an afternoon game because we don't get enough Saturday afternoon high school football. And talk about a reversal. The Gophers played Friday night. Yeah, the high schools played Saturday afternoon.
That's really strange. And I'm not sure I like it.
No, it's not the way to go on a Friday night, especially when Friday night was so wet and crappy, but I'll get to that. So I went down to Waterville, home of Waterville, Elysian Morristown, and they had a playoff game against St. Clair / Mankato Loyola. And I had never been to a football game in Waterville. I like to knock things off the bucket list. And they've got this old, it's not a stadium, it's a football field with some bleachers, I won't use the word rickety, but let's say this veteran press box, 3 levels.
Veteran press box.
You know, one of the old.
So I can be described as veteran.
You are. You've been in a lot of press boxes, you veteran. Kind of like an old, very large deer stand, which serves the purpose. Completely serves the purpose.
That's a very good description.
And they're very proud down there. They have a great football tradition in Waterville. And I went to this game. I left at noon. I got there at 1. Kickoff was at 2. And to be honest, I had no intention of writing about the game because I thought, well, it's going to, we'll see what happens. You know this as well as anybody, Jim. You go to an event, sometimes days ahead what you're going to write about. You've got a specific angle or something or a feature, or sometimes you go in without a plan, but you're going to write something. You wait and see what happens. My plan was not to write anything. I'm going to give it the John's Journal tweet-only game coverage, which is a great thing. And, the game's going along and I'm tweeting a lot, mostly photos, to try to have people come along with me, see what this is like, with people just basically lining the field, most of the way around. It's one of those deals where a guy running out of the sideline with the ball could high-five 50 people on his way into the end zone. It's that kind of a setup. And game ends. And Waterville, Elysian Morristown beat St. Clair Loyola 35-13, and Waterville was the top seed, and this probably wasn't a surprise that they would win. Both teams had records of 8-1, and St. Clair Loyola was the 4 seed. So I was talking to the St. Clair Loyola coach, Dustin Bossart, who is the principal at St. Clair, and he is also on the high school league board of directors in his first year there. I said, you're 8-1. How are you the 4 seed? And he said, well, it's because they're a co-op. They combine enrollments. They basically play a 1A schedule during the regular season. But then because they're a co-op team, the combined enrollment bumps them up to 2A. So they don't play 2A competition. And, game's over. Teams are shaking hands. I still have no intention of writing anything. And then I walk down to one end of the field where the Spartans of St. Clair, Mankato, Loyola, the boys are all on one knee, and Dustin's talking to them. And I just started jotting down what I was hearing him say, and it was incredible. And I've heard a lot of in high school sports, you can eavesdrop on a lot of things like this. You can't do this in pro sports, and it was incredible, and I didn't hear all of it. I wasn't going to stick my head right in the middle of the huddle. I'm kind of standing on the fringes. So in my notebook, I just wrote down some things I heard Dustin say. The first one I heard was, the coaches who coached you will be there for you for the rest of your lives. Okay, that's pretty good. Then I heard him say, you will remember the lifetime memories you created. You did it the right way. And this, in the background noise, our football players sniff, they're crying.
Yeah.
Their tears are flowing. It's very emotional. I think the coach was getting emotional. I was almost tearing up listening to this. And then the last thing I wrote down, he told him, you're a great group. You'll accomplish incredible things in your life. Spartan family for life. That's what you guys are. Now, the backstory is this co-op between these two schools was new this year. And they do co-op in some other sports. But for football, neither school had enough boys to field a football team this year. The only real option was, let's co-op. We'll try this. So some of these boys from one school didn't know the boys from the other school at all, till practice starts. And in St. Clair, their teams are the Cyclones, and Mankato, Loyola, they're the Crusaders. And this is another twist. This is a public school and a private school co-oping. So you got Cyclones and Crusaders, but the football season, everyone's a Spartan. And like I said, they were 8-1 when they came in. They finished the season 8-2. And I wrote about this. I got home Saturday night, spent a couple hours writing this, and it was incredible. And it was kind of nice. I tweeted before I got in the car that I had just seen something incredible. I'm going to digest it while I'm driving home for an hour and write about it. But the thing was, the coach is done talking, and this is the point where all the moms and dads and friends and grandparents, they're standing 20 yards away in another group, waiting for the boys to finish their private moment. The boys didn't want it to end. They didn't want to break up the huddle. So, the coach is done, and he says, okay, guys, break it down one more time. All the boys stand up, put a hand up, 1, 2, 3 Spartans. This is the point where, okay, let's go talk to mom and dad. Let's go hug the girlfriend. The boys they kind of started to drift away, and then they came back in again with another huddle. And they're hugging each other. They're thanking their coaches. Their coaches are thanking them. They said a prayer. Everybody got down on a knee again. I've never seen anything quite like it. I tried to do it justice. And the reaction to that story that's up there at the top of John's Journal now as we speak, just incredible on Twitter. Just a lot from educators, not just coaches. But, one person on Twitter said, when people ask why are coaches, teachers, and administrators, why do we work with kids? This is the why, this story right here. And Chip Wolverton, who's the volleyball coach at Sibley East, he tweeted to me, great stuff, John. After our last volleyball game last year, I had a senior ask me through tears, how do you go through this every year? And it's just so emotional when these seasons end. And if anybody wants to get kind of a sense of the great things about high school sports, go to John's Journal on the High School League website. Give that a read. Sometimes it's just dumb luck. You happen to be there. Showing up is half the battle. That's a phrase we hear a lot. And I could have easily walked to the Waterville, Elysian, Morristown huddle and listened to their coach, but I know Dustin a little bit since he's on our board. And I thought, let's just go see how the losing team is handling this. And my high school football career ended with just a devastating loss in a state championship game, so I always gravitate toward that situation. But yeah, it was incredible. I was trembling afterwards, hoping I could, how do I write about this and do it justice? I don't know if I did, but I gave it my best shot.
That's fantastic. I know, in our business, you kind of have to plan, especially like the two of us, we produce stuff on a regular basis. Yep. You have to plan things out.
Right.
You do expect something when you go someplace, and the best days are when you get surprised.
Yeah, and that was such a surprise. I was gonna go listen to a little post game, meet up coach players, stick my notebook in my pocket, walk to the car, go home, see if my wife wanted to go to a movie or something, and it was tremendous. And I've heard now from parents, they've requested, can we get a copy of the picture you took with the players and the coach? We want to frame, I don't want to ruin any surprises. We want to frame that story and put the picture with it for the coach. And it struck a chord. And I'm just happy to be able to do things like that.
That's fantastic. And again, you can find all John's work at mshsl.org under John's Journal. Great stuff there. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors, gourmetparlorpizza.com out of Royalton, Minnesota. Great for fundraising. Great if you just like pizza. And check your local grocers. They might have Gourmet Parlor Pizza in their frozen section.
If they do, you're very lucky, Jim. Yeah, you're right. They are stocked at selected Cub Foods, Coburn's, and Kowalski's. My local grocery stores have not been selected yet. I'm very disappointed.
It'll happen.
I keep looking. Yeah, it's going to happen. But we're kind of turning the corner from fall sports into winter sports here shortly. So there's a lot of team activities getting started. So if you want to do some fundraising for your high school teams or your youth teams, if you got a youth hockey program or basketball or wrestling or dance, and you want to do some fundraising that's easy and fun and work with a company that's been doing this a long time, Gourmet Parlor Pizza up in Royalton. They'll take great care of you. They have more than 30 different items to sell. You'll make at least $3 per pizza and over $5. If you go to their website, gourmetparlorpizza.com, you'll see all the options you have of things you want to sell. They'll deliver them to you in boxes. They don't bring them in plastic bags. It's an easy transition from Gourmet Parlor Pizza to your group, and then you deliver them, and it's a great fundraiser. So go to gourmetparlorpizza.com. If you're not on the internet, I guess you're not listening to this, but I'll give you the phone number anyway, 888-584-5930. But the easiest way is gourmetparlorpizza.com. Thanks to our friends in Royalton.
So what are the other football notes you can bring us today?
Yeah, we have some interesting things. Friday night, the night before I went to Waterville, I watched the Mud Bowl game. I went to Rosemount where they were meeting Stillwater in a Class 6A playoff opener. And Rosemount is one of these places where there is not turf. Now, Stillwater had not played on real grass since week 1. I think it was at Blaine. Especially in the metro, these big schools, turf is a regular thing. But Rosemount's in a district with 4 high schools, Rosemount, Apple Valley, Eagan, and Eastview. So if they're going to put in 1 turf field, they got to put in 4. That's a sticking point down there in that district. And it was raining most of the day Friday. It didn't stop raining during the game. And it was a mess. Rosemount came away with a 7-0 win. They were 6-2. The Ponies from Stillwater were 2-6, really evenly matched. But Rosemount, scored on their very first drive, like on 4th and 16 at the 22. They somehow threw a pass through the rain, scored a touchdown. And poor Stillwater, they were in this thing till the end. Rosemount did not turn the ball over. Stillwater had 7 turnovers. In 1 football game.
Oh my!
Was
Jameis Winston the quarterback?
I'll have to check my notes. But 7 turnovers. I think they fumbled 5 times and 2 passes picked off. And they had a great chance to tie or win this game towards the end. Stillwater blocked a Rosemount punt late in the game and had the ball at the Irish 20. And son of a gun, wouldn't you know it, Stillwater fumbled it away. Their 4th turnover in a row. And then the Irish took a couple of knees. And I tweeted some pictures. I got down on the field, and I did wear my boots, thank goodness. But I got down on the field after the game, tried to take some photos of the turf, or what was left of the turf, and it's a mess. And Rosemount's got another, they won. They're going to be the home team again this Friday night in the second round of the 6A playoffs. They're going to host Minnetonka, another team that has turf and plays mostly on turf. So let's hope for some dry conditions and a good track, at least a better track than Friday night for the next round game here. And we have a pretty high ranking coach who announced his retirement. Now his team is still playing. This is Steve Solon, the coach at Bold, and he's been there 33 years. His record's 288 wins, 77 losses, and they won a playoff game this weekend. And he told his team afterwards, "This is it for him. When the season's over, I'm retiring." They're having a great season. They're 10-0. They're going to meet Millea, another undefeated team, on Friday for the Class 1A Section 5 championship. Winner goes to the Class 1A state playoffs. So I know Steve a little bit. I've always enjoyed talking to him. He's just a great guy. They love him down there. I found out about this Saturday, I think, or Sunday, and tweeted about it, and the reaction from everybody who knows him has just been really neat to see how the impact he's had on people. Kids, quote, kids who played for him 30 years ago, still